As the United Nations marks the 2021 International Widows' Day, the ZAKAT and ZADAQAT Foundation commemorates the day with the distribution of cash gifts to widows in Lagos State. The event, tagged Economic Empowerment Program, was held at Lagos State Secretariat. While speaking at the program, the executive director of the foundation, Sukaiman Olaguju, says that the program was created to support widows with cash gifts to fulfill the objectives of zakat collection and distribution, which the foundation was established to accomplish. The female coordinator, Bashiro Jawandu, also encouraged well-to-do members of the society to always assist the widows and orphans in order to save them from depression and antisocial behaviors. One of the foundation's beneficiary, a mother of 6 children, Zukurat Warola, implored the government to do more in attending to some of their needs.
International Widows' Day is a concern to all meaningful people in the society, considering the plight of the widows in our society today. They have huge challenges such as loneliness, stigmatization, poverty, and so on and so forth. Our foundation, a charity organization for that matter that collects zakat and disburses zakat to right beneficiaries in the society, we take it as part of our program to ensure that widows are taken care of. And as we are commencing this year's zakat, it coincides with the zakat, it coincides with widows' days. That's a great opportunity for us to also mark the Widows' Day with the rest of the world. In this exercise, we've gotten so many widows that have applied for zakat. And after thorough screening, we have selected some of them. There is no way we could attend to all of them at this point in time, because zakat collection is a continuous one. So out of the zakat collected, we decided to disburse the sum of 6.5 million naira to 5 widows for empowerment. All of them are empowerment scheme. And alhamdulillah, those that we have selected, we've interacted with them. Some of them have undergone some sort of training within the time they apply, and now that they are collecting the items or they are collecting the money, as the case might be.
Widows are not really talked about. That is why we need to encourage people to help these widows. The government, the non-governmental institutions, rich individuals, we implore them to come to the aid of the widows. Then even policymakers too, we encourage them to really take the plight of the widows as one of the policies that they will consider when making their decisions.
The government should please support the education, which is the very most aspect things in Nigeria, and also for the widows. There are some other widows there that did not have the chance to be here today. They should please go out. I know that the governments are trying, but there are still some things which is going on that some people did not have the chance of coming out to see what is in their minds. And that is why we widows, we should not die in silence. So I'm just pleading the government that they should please try and do something.
And joining us to discuss the 2021 International Widows' Day is the Chairman, Board of Directors, ZAKAT and SADAQAT Foundation, Mr. Tajudeen Yusuf. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me begin by commending you on the laudable effort of giving back to those in need in the society, especially the widows at a time like this. But I'd also like to begin by asking you, let's take a look at this year's theme for the commemoration. It says, invisible women, invisible problems. This basically highlights the fact that women's identity remained attached to their partners, their husbands. So when they die with the identity of the women, unfortunately, in the society. Why do you think this is so? Why is a woman's identity still not, identified by authorities, by the society, by policymakers? What's the problem here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Because our society is largely patriarchal society, we seem to always pay attention to the men not thinking about the widows they are leaving behind. And it is about time that we have a change of attitude towards our widows. Because as you can see, debt is a debt that everybody owes. And it will get to your turn one day or the other. And you know, fingers are not equal. There are quite some people whose, they just die suddenly before they even think of making preparation for their dependents. And for widows in our society, it's about time the government, through the faith-based non-governmental organizations like our own, ZAKAT and SADAQAT, should take a whole about-turn decision on this so that we can take care of this segment of our society. Because a child that is a product of a powerless widow will constitute a threat to the society. And it behoves every one of us too that have wives, dependents, to make adequate provisions for them so that when we are no more, we can take good care of them. So, and I think government through the various ministries should pay more attention by voting some money for the care of these vulnerable members of society.
Okay, thank you for that. I just want to get your overview, Mr. Yusuf. What is your perspective on where we're at as a country with regards to the welfare of widows, since our welfare system is not where it should be? And what changes have you seen through the intervention of foundations like your own over the years?
You know, the first thing is stigmatization. Widows are stigmatized by many sociocultural beliefs in our various communities. Once you lose your husband, the society turns against you. Sometimes they accuse you of being the cause of the death of your husband. This is quite unfortunate. There are many cultures in our country today that will stigmatize the woman. They will shave her head. They will, send her packing. The relatives or the brothers or siblings of the dead man will come one day and throw the woman out. They will throw her out, they throw her children out, and they take over the estate of the dead husband. So this is quite unfortunate. And what ZAKAT and SADAQAT is doing, we are evolving what I call a total package to support the widows. And what do we mean by this? We have programs that take care of their emotional needs, their psychological needs, their economic needs, as well as social needs. And so we don't only empower them economically by setting them up, by asking them, taking them through some trainings to acquire some skills so that they can stand on their own. We are also making sure that their emotional needs by looking for somebody to marry them. Like you know, as a faith-based organization, when your husband dies, our religion has provisions for such women to be remarried so that the thought of the loss of their husband can be wiped off their memory. Though in some cases this may not be true, but we need to bring them back to the society. Let them live like other citizens in the society. We shouldn't say because they have lost their husbands, we should neglect them or we should not care for them. The foundation, our foundation is not only taking care of the women, we also ensure that the children are also taken care of. We take care of the educational needs of their children by giving them scholarship to go and be educated. And then the wives, we ensure that we don't only look for another husband for them, we also ensure that we empower them with various skills that they can be able to stand and take care of their children and will not be a burden on them. So this is a challenge. And like we do every year, because we don't only collect ZAKAT only once. We collect ZAKAT throughout the year and we take care of these people as much as possible within our budget.
I like that how you describe death. You said it's a death that is old. So it means that you can prepare. Let's talk about the role of faith and religion in all of this. It means that the violence and the ill treatment these widows get can actually be prevented if, men are encouraged and are aware to put in place a testament for their inheritors before they die. As a society, where do you think we are when it comes to preparing for the inevitable, and what role is religion playing in all of that?
In our religion, in Islam, you are reminded every day that when you witness morning, don't think you will witness the night, because death does come suddenly. And the Prophet advised that it's better you leave your family in a good condition so that they do not become nuisance to the rest of society when you leave. So it behoves every husband not to eat up all his earnings while alive. You must cultivate the habit of saving to cater for your family in case of the eventuality. And you have various financial products in the society that a husband should procure in order to take care of his family when it departs from this world. So we all should be conscious of the fact that death can come anytime. It does come suddenly sometimes. But when we keep at the back of our minds that, yes, this thing could happen, we must make adequate preparation by saving and by setting our wives up. You see, it is always good for a husband to ensure that your wife is engaged in doing something while you are still alive, so that she is able to manage the resources you give her, so that immediately when you are not around, she can be able to take care of herself. But for some women who are full-time housewives, it can be very devastating for them to actually cope when this husband suddenly dies. So it behoves us as a society that we cultivate the habit of always remembering that death is inevitable. It can come anytime. Look at the world is facing the problem of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's for us is a signal. It's a signpost that everybody should take care of this. So, as a Muslim or as a Nigerian, it behoves you to be conscious of the fact that your family needs to be taken care of by allowing your wives to be learning something, to be doing something on the side. Even you too should be doing something on the side apart from your salaries, so that when the eventuality comes, it will not take you as a surprise, and it will not throw the whole family off balance. Because the outcome of some of these things, the consequence sometimes could be very devastating on the society. Because a child whose education is truncated just because of the death of the father at a time, what could become a nuisance, a threat to the society. So the whole society must see this as a challenge that we need to take care of this eventuality. And family too, when we meet at family forum, what are we discussing? If every family takes care of their children, their family members, they will not become nuisance to the society. And our children, they are the future of the nation. And if we don't take adequate preparation for them while we are around now, it could become a problem to the society tomorrow.
Tajudeen
And that's
Yusuf,
why we
so
encourage our members and the Nigerian public to take the issue of widows as very, very important.
Indeed. Thank you, sir, for sending that message and driving that message home. Mr. Tajudeen Yusuf, Chairman of Board of Directors, ZAKAT and SADAQAT. You're watching Newsday. Lots more still ahead. Stay with us.